Oh, space. The final frontier. These are the continuing voyages of the Starship Adequate. Our ongoing mission to review every episode and movie of Star Trek in existence. To seek out new guests and make them very uncomfortable. To boldly go where every other Star Trek-based YouTube show has gone before.
Probably
evening.
an hour earlier as well. Probably. Some of them got their episode out earlier today. Bloody hell, what's keeping us? Christ.
You had work. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Treks and Trekkers around the world. We are back! It's Trekkin Up North, Season 4. That's right, we can't be cancelled now. We're in syndication. We are back.
I can't wait to be thrown out to Bulgarian audiences. They're like, what the hell is he saying?
What?
I realize you can translate stuff on YouTube now. You can.
I've already got it done.
No, but like I wanna see what I'm saying in another language. You know, I wanna.
Autodub is already installed, so please, I encourage everybody to watch this in Belgian. We are back.
Best enjoyed in Belgium.
Best enjoyed. Hey, but enough about Brussels. We've
derailed it already. Successful. We've won.
We've derailed. Welcome back, everybody, to a new look Trekking Up North. I am, of course, Captain Goodwill, and joining us, as ever, is the
Delician.
Hang on. I need my script.
Gessian.
Line. Delectable Geesian from the planet Hog. He's not just Science Officer Synoiz. He's had a promotion. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, it's Commander Synoiz!
What fool did that? What absolute bastard promoted me?
Thank you to Mike from the Clone Star podcast and Elkar's Workshop, who helped refit the USS Adequate. He, in his power, decided to give you a promotion to Commander. Trust me, there were many, many protests. A lot from me. But in honour of your promotion, i.e. bribe, we have... Oh my God, what is this? We've got an incoming transmission! We've got an incoming transmission! Oh my God! Oh my God! You're supposed to act...
another screen, seemingly.
You're supposed to act flustered. You're supposed to go, oh my God! Oh my God!
I don't have that energy in me body anymore.
Okay.
It's the most movement I've done in ages. Oh, it's him.
Isaac from Trek 365 here.
Oh.
Guys, I had to ring in this week because I wanted to congratulate Science Officer Synoiz, who has been in one of the lower decks for the last...
What's that agent doing on the telly?
But finally has reached the level of commander, and I think he might be the first commander ever from the planet Honk. So congratulations. It's an authority that I have in my role to be able to promote you, but it also means I have the ability to take that promotion back.
Yeah.
So keep it up, because I don't really want to have to, have that difficult conversation. But congratulations. Long may your reign in science continue. And, as we say down here...
That's a strong word.
At Trek 365, or as I like to say, Trekking down south, Synoiz for the boys.
But enough about Berlin. But
Thank you, Isaac, for the clear copyright infringement. My lawyers will be in touch.
I will say, I refuse to be congratulated by someone in a flat cap. That's just a personal preference of mine.
Oh, you are so getting a demotion.
The shield for congratulations.
You are so getting a demotion next week. I think you just got to fall way below like science officer and be like vending machine mechanic and just
yeoman. I'm gonna get the heady heights of yeoman.
A yeoman in 1960s television.
Do I get to wear a miniskirt?
You're not
I'm going to wear a
already?
mini skirt and flirt with you, I think.
You're not
That's-
already?
Well, you know.
It's
actually.
regulation. Wait, hang on.
it's-
I've just realised in 3 years we've never seen the bottom half of you.
Oh, we should have done that as a gag. I should have literally been wearing fishnets. Just stand up, and I'm like, why would you want to see the bottom of me anyway?
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
Yeah, that's it. It's the Dr. Scott bit from the end of the picture show. Just like, for the thrills.
Oh,
Isaac's immediately like, is it too late to undo that? He's just pressing on. He's like Control Zing desperately.
Dystopia just went, the new Harry Kim.
I need to be the opposite of Harry Kim, though, where Harry Kim has started at the bottom and never gone up. I need to start at the top and just go down gradually.
Well,
But they start creating new roles.
starting at the top and going down, we already agreed enough about Berlin. So, yeah.
I didn't start as a top. Anyway, new design, fancy. It's lovely. Thank you, Mike. It's wonderful. What are we doing here?
Thank you so much to Mike at LCAR's Workshop and the Clone Star podcast. Links are in the description below. Please go follow. We are here to review the first 2 episodes of Starfleet Academy, but first, I would be remiss if we did not acknowledge our deliciously darling sponsors. Oh, that's right, baby. We still got sponsors, y'all. We still got sponsors. Our first sponsor, that's right, we've got two sponsors.
2 sponsors.
Double the sponsors. Our first one is obviously Kaylin Scott's Packing My Records for Mars, which is available in the link in description below on Amazon. And I've got the lovely blurb that I butchered last time, but I've had a month off and I've got new dentures. So
Can you
I
do
will
it in Yorkshire?
I mean, they are from Yorkshire, so that could butcher them. All right.
Accurate.
All right.
So.
What lies in wait to end the world? Inspired by Star Trek, Red Dwarf, and films such as Blade Runner and 2001: A Space Odyssey, Packing My Records for Mars is an abstract, hopeful, bittersweet depiction of a displaced reality at the end of the Earth. I'm really going into Savile. I need to center it a little bit.
Yeah, while I love the concept of it, it's like a way to get a sponsor to step away. Packing my records from Mars.
Season 4 is going well.
We
Kaylin
cancel
Scott.
ourselves.
Kaylin Scott uses poetry to tell a compelling story about one family facing uncertainty and horrors usually consigned to science fiction. In the words of Ed, a guilt-ridden father who journals his adventures, my daughter thinks there should be journals to read at the end of the world. A written record for Earth's wanderers. The thing is, I can't quite remember the moment we went from being perfectly comfortable to fuck. There's that lava I was so worried about as a kid. Pain has made my memory piecemeal, frozen like a photograph. You can pick up your copy of Packing My Records from Mars at the link in the description below. And you're thinking, but Captain Goodwill, surely that's the only sponsor you've got. You would be wrong. Because our second sponsor is, of course, Isaac from Trek 365. And he has deliberately written this blurb, so I apologise in advance. Trekkin Up North is sponsored by my best mate who is so far away he might as well be trekking down south, but he isn't. He's Isaac, and he hosts Trek 365. Last year, he counted down daily the 365 most memorable episodes of Trek, and this year, he's doing The Turtles. That's right, the Turtles movie from 1990, 1 minute at a time, releasing Ensign Nobody's Starlogs, and even doing a weekly Star Trek parody show starring moi, Captain Goodwill, as Captain Goodwill. Links below. Go and listen to him after me, and Science Officer Synoiz. I've signed off. and safely tucked back on the planet Honk. I'm getting good at this sponsorship stuff, aren't I? I'm getting really good at this.
I think it's good. It's getting.
I'm
good.
getting there.
It was better in Yorkshire, obviously, but.
I know, but then we started drifting over to the Scarborough side.
We've got to talk about Starfleet Academy.
Okay, do you mean, Starfleet Academy? Oh, that's right, we've got a screen for screenshots. Right.
We need to stop this.
We need to stop.
I say that, there's something seriously wrong.
I'm going to get emails from YouTube going, hey, bro, it's been a month.
Hey, we've noticed.
Hey, you up? Welcome to everybody in the chat. Welcome to Jason from Recommendations. Welcome to Leela, Peaches, Beth, Chris. We've got the magnificent Shed from Canada, aka Nice France. We have got myself, we've got the transporter room, and everybody else is watching. I don't care if I burped. I had an autism platter, and it was bellissimo.
I love that you were like, should I cook a proper meal, or should I just have turkey dinosaurs and
should I cook a proper meal, or should I really give the therapist something to work with this week? Yes.
Make them earn their money.
You're earning your money, Hannah. Right, we are...
I think making your therapist work for it needs to be a new vibe. I think.
That's a redeemable. I think. Yes, we are here to review the first 2 episodes of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Now, before Starfleet Academy aired last year, me and Commander Synoiz made an arrangement. To it, if we found that the first episode was Poo Poo Papa, we would break out the beer and we would have a good old drunk session having fun. I have got water
today.
I have got water because we both actually enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Starfleet, not without criticism.
Yeah.
But we actually enjoyed the episodes, to our surprise.
I will say, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting because I was very, very negative about this show and everything. And I think we need to look at like Paramount's promotional team and just be like, do you know what your job is? Because like, it's so strange that the way it's being promoted and the stuff that they've put out there is a kind of, hey, here's the selling point, is like going, that is not what this show is, and it's kind of very weird that you've decided to do that. Like, but I was very negative about it, especially, and we were very kind of, do we want to do every episode of this show, like, or do we want to just kind of go hey, we'll just talk about it when it's over and give it like an overview of what happened in the season. But like, yeah, so until we watched the first 2 episodes, which were released yesterday, we were, because we didn't get screeners, oddly, probably because we said horrible stuff about the show. But yeah, we're unprofessional. That's how you make Commander, apparently, from some flat cap weirdo from down under. But yeah, oh yeah, they're our sponsor. Oh yeah, sorry.
Alienates everybody else. Come on, I'll be waiting.
Time to get demoted. I'm aiming for Boothby. I'm going to get that low down.
The thing is, we were both pleasantly surprised, and we both agreed that out of the 2, the second episode, Beta Test, is clearly the standout and represents what Trek actually is. It's better paced. There's not a lot of visual action, and the main meat of it is within the dialogue of the story. And I really enjoyed it because for me, it was world building, which is something that 32nd, 33rd century Star Trek actually needed from Discovery. And this is sort of taking that in that direction. And like I said, I was surprised that I enjoyed it. But I did, and I do have a load of standout characters as well. So let's get into the first episode, shall we? Kids these days. And considering we just did that rather questionable impression, saying that afterwards is a little bit weird. But...
kids these days. Yeah, they actually tell their parents. Are we still running? Are we still live?
Oh, we're running. Oh, we're running. This is a very action-heavy episode, and I agree with you. So we both watched it at the same time yesterday, folks, and we both came to the same conclusion that Paramount's strategy over the last few years, when they are doing season premieres, is to do a double bill of 2 episodes and to have one action-heavy episode and then one dialogue-heavy episode.
Yeah.
And for this, I would have kind of liked this to be a 2-hour, 1-episode opening like we used to have in the 90s, I think.
It's a strange one because we discussed this at length through voice notes the other day, and it was the idea of like, you know what, like I'm saying, where I'm saying the marketing team doesn't seem to know what they're like marketing, you know, in terms of how they're selling the show. And obviously we all saw things like the infamous poster where it looks like the sort of, you know, a teen drama or whatever.
Yeah.
And we, you know, when we saw the sort of sneak peek sort of like, you know, the snippets of episode 1, where I'm kind of going, wow, these are the worst bits of episode 1.
Yeah.
And someone went, that's the bit, that's how we're going to hook them. And you kind of like, you just feel like you're in a room with someone and they're watching for totally different stuff than you. And it feels like a marketing team got this show and then they went, okay, cool, we don't like Star Trek, so we're just going to have to try and sell it a different way. And I think, and it's so weird though, because they released the 2 episodes to begin. And I think it's because you get the first episode where like, oh, the producers are telling us this is what we need to do. It needs to have explosions and action, and it needs to hook people immediately and be really exciting and like sort of and dramatic. And then it's like, yeah, but that's not what the rest of the show's like. Yeah. But they obviously have this awareness later where someone is like, because this only got announced like a week or 2 ago that they were doing 2 episodes rather than just 1, wasn't it? Like they didn't come out straight away and be like, it's going to be 2 to start.
It was a few weeks ago, but Paramount's got a track record of doing that, where they're just like, "Hey, we're just going to do this double bill," and it's like, like.
But it feels like someone there is like, okay, the first episode might put people off because it's not necessarily what they're looking for, so we'll put the 2 out together, and that's exactly like Strange New Worlds. It's exactly like the other shows they've done it with. But you're like, but if you have that awareness, why don't you just stop doing action-packed opening episodes, you know? Like, I don't know.
I agree with what Jason just said there, recommendations. You need both episodes to get a flavour of the show. I do agree, but surely, like, it felt like the first episode was purely designed to hook people in. Now, I'm not saying it was a bad episode. There were really good scenes. Like, this is right here is the beginning of the episode. We get some good exposition. We get introduced to Holly Hunter really early, and you know, they go, this happened 15 years ago, and then the rest of the show takes place 15 years later, blah 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 blah. And it's really good. And they even shortened down the intro, so it's just a flag and stuff like that, and they just jump straight. And the thing is as well, what I really liked is this is a 71-minute opening episode, and the next episode is 61 minutes. So these are meaty episodes where they haven't worried about the constraints of runtime and stuff like that, which has been one of the criticisms that we've had in the past, where we've had episodes of Strange New Worlds where they've only been 47 minutes.
Yeah, you're like, you could have gone for an extra 10 minutes. Like, it felt like they weren't saying everything.
Yeah, and these are 2 meaty episodes. And like I said, it's just a little bit too much action here and there. But I get it, and I know why Paramount are doing it. I question why they're doing it, because you want to bring in old fans as well. But again, that's why probably they've got the double bill. I really like, and we're probably going to disagree with this, I like Holly Hunter in this. I do like Holly Hunter. She's part Lanthanite. So we realise that she's 442 years old. So she's been there when the Federation was...
Which is pretty young for a Lanthanite.
Pretty young.
You know,
the
only reference point we have is Pelia from Strange New Worlds, but it's...
she's 4,000 years old, so it's sort of like...
But it's... 400 is pretty young in the terms of them, but it works, and it's great that they're fleshing that out more.
She's definitely got that Lanthanite vibe within her, though, in the way that she conducts herself on the Athena, and the way that she talks to people. That, you know, the pretenses that come with age, like the whole, oh well, you know, this is an admiral, I have to stand to attention. She's like, I don't care, come here, Charlie, and she gives Charlie a hug and stuff like that.
I think that's the thing. I mean,
it's
a
very
lot of the
Pellier.
criticisms, a lot of the criticisms that got leveled towards the show were things that they saw out of context, which is, I will blame what happened in the sort of the sneak peek sort of thing, because you're like, whoa, this is far too much stuff. It's like showing someone the twist of a film and then going, oh, why did they not appreciate it? Because it's like, well, they don't know all the surrounding stuff. So it's
Yeah.
quite interesting seeing that she is a Lanthanite and her fleshing them out more. Like Pellier kind of started it in Strange New Worlds with her kind of like this whole attitude of like, I've been around for hundreds of years, thousands of years. I realize what isn't important, like what I don't need to waste time with. And that's sort of like, posturing with people, or sort of like how I dress or how I do my hair or whatever. And I like that they're sort of building on that race now with Captain, how is it, Aki?
Nala Aki.
Aki, yeah, with Captain Aki, basically just going, yeah, her hair is messy, she laces around, she never keeps still in chairs and stuff. She has like a disregard for how the rules should be, and it's something that I think a lot of neurodivergent people can like relate to, in the idea of going, I'm doing my job, why do I need to do it this way? Like, why do I need to do this specifically? And that's exactly it. And that's something that I think resonates with old fans as much as new fans and the younger generations. And I think once I got that, like, I didn't like her to start in the episodes, in episode 1, but as it progressed and it kind of fleshed it out, and I was like, oh, it's part of her character. It's not just an actress who can't be bothered to be there. It's the fact of she is this kind of, look, like, I know what's important. We've got to get this done. We've got to get this done. Why the hell do I have to be in uniform? Why,
Yeah. Why do I have to wear shoes? I walk around bare feet, and
it's refreshing. That is how she is as a captain, and it separates her from all the captains we've got before, rather than trying to be, oh, look, fans, it's someone who's like Kirk. Oh, look, fans, it's someone who's like Janeway,
But not only a captain. If you are going to start Starfleet Academy, which is, let's be honest, it's space high school, you're gonna need someone who, she is perfect. She's a Lanthanite. She is 440 odd years old. She was in Starfleet for hundreds of years. She's experienced. Who better than to shape future Starfleet officers than someone with that level of experience, knowledge, and who is extremely wise about situations, about diplomacy and tactics, and basically everything about the Federation. I think it's an absolute nail on the head.
But also someone who needs to learn their own things, like someone who has their own development to have. Like, this is the thing. This is like, we see it a lot in the main character, who we'll move on to in a minute. I call him the main character, but
Caleb.
Like, it's only Caleb in the first like 2 episodes. There's a big focus on him, but luckily it is an ensemble cast, which is very good.
Yes.
They've learned from Discovery. But it's the fact of like, she has flaws, and she's addressing them, so we have this wonderful potential for growth in the character, rather than going, hey, she knows everything, and that's what I was kind of expecting the characters to be, these hollow kind of like, look, they're brilliant at what they do.
Jason is really owning me in the chat at the moment. I don't think women like it when you keep saying how old they are. I'm no expert on women. I watched it with my wife, and she couldn't believe she didn't brush her hair before going on the bridge. But that is her persona.
See, that bothered me. That's the thing. That bothered me. But then when I realized, oh, it's because she's a Lanthanite. It's because she's literally like, she's meant to look a bit crazy. She's meant to look a bit wild woman of the woods kind of thing. And then she does that. She starts off on Bajor, stealing ice cream from children.
She doesn't
ends up on the bridge.
It. She doesn't steal the ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
You
Like, oh, look, I've
bastard.
got this ice cream. You'll get this back if you do this thing for me. That is stealing. That is straight up, like,
we are 25 minutes
extortion.
in. We are 25 minutes in, and you're already creating a conspiracy theory that she is Krampus, the Lanthanite.
All I'm saying,
or the Grinch of Bajor.
where did she get the ice cream from?
The replicator.
No, she got the ice cream from the children. because she took it off them.
And then gave it to Admiral Vance. She was like,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly,
I
exactly.
stole
So,
this
yeah.
from an infant.
I mean, I don't want to make this sound like a negative or a strike against her, because I fully approve of this behavior. But it's the fact that that is what happens in the episode.
It's so good. Like I said, I had doubts about Holly Hunter being on this, but oh my god, like she is just brilliant. But the beauty of this series at the moment is we have an ensemble cast. We have, in these 2 episodes, yes, the first episode was action heavy, but it still had moments to breathe and allow us to get to know a little bit about the ensemble cast that we're going to have. Obviously, we had the Doctor and stuff like that, but we got Sam, who is the first photonic in Starfleet, so the first hologram admitted to Starfleet, because obviously the Doctor's. Yeah, there we go, Sam right in the centre there. We got Genesis. What a name, by the way, for that lady there. Genesis is fantastic. Jada Krag. Oh, I'm loving the fact my slideshow works like this. Jada Krag, a pacifist Klingon. And then we've got, oh my God, Darren Ramey right here, who is a Ramey.
I just wrote dickhead.
He sounds Australian, but he's definitely an alien, which is one in the same. And there's Caleb there, but it gives it, and it gives a chance. It allows us to breathe and absorb these new people, as well as the crew and everything like that. Because
and
what
the
I
good
love
thing is that the first episode is very much kind of like, look, here's everyone, and it tries to explain everyone, and it trips over itself a fair bit. Like, I think the only character that's part of the regular cast that doesn't appear in episode 1 is Reno from Reno from Discovery, played by Tig Notaro. They're the only person that doesn't appear in the first episode, and I feel like they didn't need to introduce everyone or give everyone something to do in the first episode. I like it, but it's like even DS9 kind of went, should we have Jadzia and Bashir coming a bit later on after things? I
see what you're meaning, and having Tig Notaro's character in episode 2 was good. We then got Mary Wiseman, despite being touted for years that she's going to be in the Starfleet Academy series, is only in 1 episode.
Really?
Only in 1 episode.
Which one's it going to be? I mean, I'm
no
looking
idea.
forward to that, because this is the thing. I want to see Discovery characters shine out of the confines of the Burnham show,
under the shadow of Burnham, come out of the shadow of Burnham and really flesh it out. And I will admit, like in Discovery, it was Tilly, it was Saru, and it was, oh God, what's his name? The alien with the big, we see another thing of the alien with the big fish eyes, where they're signing the roles.
The problem is when you say sort of, in Star Trek, the alien, and you're like, which one?
The one.
The alien from Star Trek.
But it's good, and I think the reason why I've forgotten her name, but she does get named. But why does she look like she's left the oven on in every single photo we've got of her? Like she's literally just like sort of at the desk, be like, which one? Is it Ya?
Is it Lieutenant Ya? The one with the
I think it's Lieutenant Ya, the wrestler. She's an actual wrestler in real life. She's in WWE.
But this
Rebecca
leads us
Quinn.
on to another thing. Me taking the mick out of her is the fact of, I think that Star Trek fans are going to appreciate about this is that it actively fixes a lot of the problems with Discovery, and it feels like the writers, or at least someone there, has been listening, or they've accidentally just done it, because the first, we were talking about how the first episode makes sure to just name all the bridge crew. It kind of goes, look, everyone.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Gets named in the episode. Everyone gets like an introduction, no matter how small, and
it was deliberate.
Finally, this person might get development later.
It was deliberately done, because she's reviewing it on the shuttle, and then she gets there, and I that number one in that room was like. The biggest criticism we had was we had an ensemble that we never used for 5 years.
They've been in 40 episodes. Who are they?
We are paying them, and they are doing nothing. That is the easiest gig in Paramount at the moment. Put on a uniform and stand there going, That's it. I'm sure it's Lieutenant Yar. I'm looking for the other non-facial expression that you've mentioned.
Non-facial.
The
but enough
other
about Berlin.
non-pause. And the other non-pause is my new thing now.
But it's but no, but it names the characters, and the other one that we were talking about is that they actually give a reason for why they can't do stuff. And this is basic writing. This is basically telegraphing stuff and being like, hey, if something's happening, like the transporters are broken, or that the computer requires voice activation or something like that, you telegraph it in an earlier scene. Like you kind of, it's not essentially Chekhov's gun, but it's the idea of going, hey, that might be relevant later on, rather than just being like leaving people go like, why didn't they just do this? And it's like, oh yeah, I don't think the writers thought about that, or like, oh, it happened for plot reasons.
But wasn't this one of our?
This does very good in that, where it goes, oh, we can't use transporters because of this. Oh, we can't do this because of this.
Wasn't this one of our criticisms when we first saw the trailer? Hang on a minute, computer, take us back to big head mode.
Computer.
Wasn't this one of our criticisms when we first saw that like clip from episode 1, where it was like, how is Thora Yuk, the Jemadar, able to just pop a transporter, but then she has to tell everybody else to run up the stairs when they're being... And I'm like, isn't this an age of personal transporters where it's like, if it's an issue, you go boop and you go straight to where you are. And then in this, like, it's almost like they read our minds, because they explain, like, as soon as she beams in, she's getting, like, the transporters are all going down and the ship is being taken over.
Thing. The sneak peek that we got, the one that was so heavily criticized, is like the sneak peek is not how it plays in the episode.
Yes.
There are a lot of little scenes, like with the main plot line going on, because obviously the sneak peek was like, hey, the ship gets attacked, what's his name, Nusbracker appears on the bridge.
Nusbracker, yes.
We're learning to the captain. Yeah. And I've got a cheat sheet written down because I can't.
I've got IMDb.
But like all of that appears, and get interspersed between them is another scene that's the main scene that's happening, and you're like, oh, why did they edit this to make it worse, like without all of the explanation and the other stuff?
Because when we watched it, I remember when we watched it, the first thing I said to you is, hang on, they've got personal transporters, why are they suddenly not working? And you came back and went, plot convenience. And then we saw this, and then like you said, that's not how the scene played out. And you're like, why? Were you like so determined to get as much action crammed into this limited time slot as possible that you got rid of the exposition that actually made the scene coherent and make it make sense?
And it's a difficult one, because obviously what they focused on, like the stuff that happened in the preview, are probably the worst bits of the episode. Like, I know that you like it because like we are expecting you to, as our audience, to have watched the episode. We're not going to go through like the specific like plot points or what happens. We're going to go over like it as we get to it, and cover like what we thought of it, because we can't do blow by blow because it'll take forever. But it's like the scene with Nusbracker, you liked it. I didn't. I'm still.
Ooh.
I'm still undecided about Nusbracker.
Which scene with Nusbracker? Because
probably both. Like I mean, the issue is, okay, that a lot of the show is very respectful towards the science, where it kind of goes, hey, this works this way and this works this way, and then there's other scenes that just totally disregard it, and it feels like an almost different show. Like at the beginning of the episode, we have it where Caleb's like escaping from custody and things like that.
On Pikaru, of all places.
But like, he's on this planet, and obviously loads of questions I have of how are they starving when the burn didn't really take out replicators? So how is there sort of limited food and rations and stuff like that, when they should still, space travel's difficult, but they should still actually be able to convert matter into other matter, which is confusing. Yeah. But also, like, how does he steals Holly Hunter? No, he steals like Aka's comm badge and uses it to open a vent, and I'm like, when has it ever worked that way? Why would you make it way? But everything's different. We literally have some systems work by using a comm badge, some work by fingerprints, some work by voice recognition, some work by key code. And I know that's fine, and that's how systems work. But at the same time, you're like, that's awfully convenient that scene happened.
But do you like a tiny scene, even if it was just a tiny scene of Ake walking into the courtroom where she just like the badge gets scanned and she's allowed in, then 10 minutes later we could go, that's why he stole the badge, because he could essentially break tiny little things like that. But
even if it was something simple of he actually just jimmies the bloody the thing open with it, you know.
I agree with you,
even something like that, because it's like we've never seen a comm badge controlling like, you know, walls before, and it doesn't for the rest of the episode.
But the thing is, like,
that again.
Well, the thing is, because the next time we see Nusbracker after the trial and stuff like that is when he ambushes the Athena after Caleb has sent the signal to his mother. And what annoys me is I mean, I disagree with you in the way that I don't like the scene. It annoys me because Caleb sends a signal, he gets ambushed by Nusbracker, and then Nusbracker is like, I'm just here to steal the warp core. And I'm like, right, so why do you need an entire team to take out a warp core when literally you can just press a button and poof, it ejects? Like, why do you suddenly have to have an entire team?
It out, potentially, you know, like...
Why do you have to have an entire team to break it down and do this when literally you could just order them to eject the core? Because that is what every ship in Star Trek has as an emergency protocol, so it doesn't explode and stuff like that. And it's like you said, it's science to serve the plot, but we also see as well the fight out between Nusbracker and Caleb, where unbelievably conveniently there is an escape pod 6 foot away from the fight scene that Nusbracker escapes from. And again,
and nobody thinks to tractor beam it.
Thank you.
Or teleport him out of it, or you know, stuff like that. Yeah. Like all it would have taken is a little scene of Caleb being like, "Hey, Nusbracker's escaped," kind of thing, and they're like, "Oh, do a tractor beam. It's not working. It's broken. The teleporters are still broken." That's all it would have taken, just to go, "Oh, that's how he managed to escape."
Needs a security guard to eject the car. Take someone hostage.
We get to say this is what I mean. There's loads of little things where you're going, okay, cool, but it's not like it's badly written. It's got like stuff in where you're like, and that's the problem. The second episode is much better. The first episode feels like they had some bullet points of action scenes they needed to happen, and they thought what the connecting lines were with them, where they're like, oh, that needs to do that, like, but I do have a problem with the technology in regards to Nusbracker, like I agree with the people who have complained online about the whole, if he's a hologram, how is he able to walk around the room and interact with them? Like, is it like the transmission creates a hologram like the Doctor, where he is aware of his surroundings, but then how does that work in his head? Like, is he, how does he...
This has been something since DS9.
But just a dramatic thing, like in DS9, they literally go, hey, we can create a 3D hologram of the person, but they're stuck within this sort of like circle thing. Like they're stuck within like a circular thing, because naturally the layout of their bridge is different to the layout of our bridge. But it's all done for effect. Like, for instance, all the, like, this is me being really silly, but all the other scenes we see have it where there's a floating camera. For some reason, it's always like there's a camera somewhere and you don't know where it is. You don't know where it is on the wall, but it basically keeps a distance from a character and kind of follows them around or whatnot. But then we see Nusbracker basically putting his head up against it, like being all like in his face, being like...
The fisheye lens. And
you're kind of going, why does that camera work differently to all of the others across all the other monitors that we see in like the entire thing? And I know it's done for dramatic effect, but it's not needed.
It's not needed, and I said to you, because I had heard rumors that there was a certain someone who is the bear in mind it's been a year this week.
Oh God!
A certain director of Star Trek Section 31, Olatunde Osunsanmi,
yes,
who is the executive producer of Starfleet Academy, and I sat there, and I messaged Synoiz, or I sent you a voice note, and I'm like, you can tell that he sat there, because one of our biggest criticisms we'll get to later on.
Why hasn't the camera flipped 360 yet?
One of our criticisms we'll get to later on, but one of my criticisms is the DNA of what he wanted to do is in this scene, and I am telling you, the editor fought for his life to prevent certain things coming in, because there was a fight scene, and there was the shuttle scene with the fight scene, and I was just waiting for this. I was just waiting for this, and I thought, he's gonna do it. He gets off on it. He's gonna do it. But then I was waiting for the digital zooms in post that we get as well, and we didn't get it. And I'm thinking, because I tell you, when Section 31 premiered, these were still in editing. They've looked at the criticism and went, dude, we can't add this shit in because we are getting roasted for it.
I don't know. Like, I kind of, obviously, when we heard that he was there, because apparently he was there on the set for like every day of
every episode
Starfleet Academy, and that scared us, because it's like, why is he there? He should be really far away from it. But after seeing the episodes, I'm pretty sure that it's purely so that they knew where he was. So if he's there,
Kurtzman
on set,
was directing.
Then he's not in the editing room.
It says a lot.
Kind of the idea of like they've kept him away, and he's like, why hasn't it done a digital zoom yet?
It says a lot that Kurtzman was like, do you know what? I know I'm the showrunner. Like, I know I'm running all of Star Trek. I'm gonna direct this just to be sure. Lock his trailer, but I'm gonna be here because, like I said, we'll get to it now anyway, we might as well. One of the biggest criticisms that we've got is the scenes in, especially the first episode, are very busy, unnecessarily busy in certain parts.
I'd say it's across both. I'd say it's like, I think, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say a really bold thing, because I usually don't care. Like, I am very much a person who cares about story, who cares about characters, who cares about sort of continuity, cares about science. Like, all the lore is what I love. Like, the lore and the character development. But one of my criticisms of Starfleet Academy is the visuals. Like, it's not well done. Like, yes, we have lots of flashy sets and stuff like that. And we do have some beautiful things.
I think it's well done in some parts, but it lacks in others, and they merge together, and it makes it like overall drags it down.
Well, I think a lot of it is ruined in post. So we have like they spaffed the budget on episode 1, where they're like, look, big space explosions and all this lark and stuff. But then it just has so many scenes with unnecessary nonsense put into it. Like the big problem we had with episode 2 is the robots. Like every single it feels like there was some kind of like, ADHD child involved in the test audience who is basically just like, there's nothing going on, I'm getting bored, stop it, Mom, I'm getting bored. Because it's like, it has like panning shots of a room, and then randomly there's all these little robots, like the badly CG'd in, so the lighting on them
shadows,
isn't right.
No ray tracing,
That's it. There's no shadows. They look like really out of place and whatnot, but they're constantly in the background. And it's like when there's a long talking scene, there'll be something happening. Like, so there's like a scene between Jaden and Captain Aki, and as he's talking, there's like a robot just playing around at the window behind
window
them.
cleaning.
And you're like, why are you there? Like,
why do you need the windows cleaning?
That's it. It's like, well, but it's like, and I don't know if it's like catering towards the TikTok generation or not, but there's just so many scenes where they're walking down a corridor and there's tons of stuff just happening. Like it's like all of this is unnecessary. Like it actually lessens the scene because I'm not looking at what I'm meant to be looking at.
The thing is as well, and I will say this, the atrium and some of the sets are jaw-droppingly beautiful. Like that, the atrium set is Star Trek's largest set ever constructed. Is
it bigger than the promenade?
It's ginormous. It's the largest set that they've ever created, right? Absolutely huge. And it is beautiful. But the problem is, I think, backed into a corner where it's like it has to look like the 32nd century. It has to we have to have a robot here. We have to have an exocomp there. We have to have it has to look busy all the time, and it's like it doesn't have to be. If like some of the best scenes, especially in the second episode, where the rooms are empty. The lighting is minimal, like the humpback whale scene in episode 2.
Gorgeous. That's a gorgeous scene, and it's two people and obviously a whale.
Or the scene where Caleb is in an empty classroom and he's sending the encrypted transmission in episode 1, and it's him and Genesis, and the use of lighting, the use of shadows, nothing else. Like you don't even see what's on the computer screens or anything like that. The focus is on them, and the problem is you have scenes like that, and then you have scenes where you're in the atrium or you're in like an event or something like that, and there is just so much happening, and it just takes away the attention of the audience from a key scene.
And I'd like to say that it was like badly done in post, like we saw with Section 31, where obviously when they were doing the editing, they just took loads of drugs and decided they wanted to ruin a movie. Well, no, they wanted to not help a movie. But like in this, you can tell that the robots are meant to be there, that they exist in the script, that they exist in the storyboards, because people react to them. So the actors are reacting to like this robot window cleaner, or it's shot with like that weird space at the side because a robot's going to come in or whatever, or it follows them and stuff. And so it was obviously intended and done, you know, and the scenes and the framing is very aware of what is going to be CG'd in, but they're just badly done. And they really don't need to be there. And there's better ways to go, look, it's a bustling hub, without going like, look, it's one of the robots from bloody you know, oh, here's an old reference, batteries not included, just zooming around everywhere. That's it. It is literally just a flying saucer alien with some eyes stuck on, just zooming around in the background. You're like, we don't need this.
It's very Star Wars. It's very.
And also, why are there robots when holograms exist? Wouldn't you just have holograms for every single menial task when they get, you know, you could, it's like AI or whatever, where it's like, hey, you can just create an AI bot kind of thing and then give it a task or whatever, and then it goes away. You know, it gets deleted. You could just have holograms doing that rather than going, hey, here's a physical robot that needs to be constantly maintained all the time. And, you know, it's like, that the technology doesn't make sense when we have it where some members of staff are mindless holographics, you know. So
for the first episode, obviously they, you know, Nas, oh my god, forgive us guys, it's a new series. Nusbraka, Paul Giamatti, has left, and you know it's done the Vader thing, like I'll get you again, Caleb. And then another thing that I probably, in the politest way that me and Synoiz disagree with, is when they finally get to San Francisco on the Athena, and they play If You're Going to San Francisco. You don't like it. It's stuck in my friggin' head. I think I understand why they did it. But yeah, it can be a little bit forced, I think.
Well, it's you know what it's like, where when we're putting our points across, we are arguing it as that's a bad decision, as in I think that could have been done better. But then when we hit stuff like this, it's purely a preference. It's the factor of going, there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with playing, like, you know, when Star Trek kind of goes, hey, we'll include some sort of 90s pop culture or like 60s pop culture and stuff like that. It's fine. But for me, I don't enjoy it. Like I'm kind of like, look, can't we make new songs or something? Or like, why is it using this song? Like, and it bothers me. But then that's literally a personal preference. I have no backup for that. So yeah, I didn't like it, but it doesn't not need to be there.
Well, before we get to what really bothers you, and then we'll move to episode 2. Two things. One, the new 60th anniversary intro is pretty, but it has drawn criticism because not all of Star Trek is represented within the 60th anniversary ident. So you've got the original series, you've got the movies, you've got the Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise. There is no Cerritos. There is no Protostar.
Yeah.
They are missing.
They are missing, however, they're aware of them in the episode.
Yes,
'Cause
they
it's
are.
wonderful that we do get in the second episode, I've forgotten the name of the species, but we get one of the
Rocktalk.
wonderful. Is it Moktok?
No, well, the character in Prodigy is called Rocktalk, but I don't know the
Yeah,
species.
we get Rocktok species appearing in obviously CG, but like in the second episode, and I love
But
that.
that's
They've
really
gone,
well
"Hey,
done
that's
as
part of
well."
it." It's
Yeah.
really well done. Like as in they're loud. Like I was a friend of mine was playing what is it? One of the new Warhammer 40,000 games where you play as a space marine who are guys who are clad in armor and they're running around and they've just got these soft little footfalls. And I'm like, he would be clanging like a motherfucker. Like, like running around. Like, literally he's just like, oh, it's a guy in a full suit of armor running on stone. I wonder what sound that's going to make. And it just says this tiny little cloth pitter-patter. And then this one, we have the Rockdog character walking around just like
The
with this
subwoofer on my TV was
booming
going.
as it walks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yep, that I like that. And
My,
it makes it feel like they should be there. Like the CG isn't amazing on it, but it's better than the bloody robots. But it's
Yeah.
and it's good. But then we also have like I would even class what are they called, the little robots from TNG.
Exocomps.
Yeah, the Exocomp, like I even see that as a reference to the lower decks.
Yeah.
Like there's loads of little nods in this show to everything. And they're kind of done in a kind of they're not done in a kind of, oh, look at us. Oh, look how amazing that is. Like it felt like they were in section 31.
It just feels like that they exist.
Yeah, it goes, oh yeah, these are like we praised Lower Decks 4 of going, it is aware of the universe it exists in, and so stuff that should be in a particular situation naturally appears there, even if it's a bit of an obscure reference, and it works.
I think my standout.
Also, Trek Recommendations is saying that the Doctor wouldn't allow you to treat holograms like that with my suggestion of they'd use holograms for stuff. But we do see holograms used like that. Like we do get to see holograms who are mindless in episode 2. In episode 2, we get a hologram who is literally just a basic service hologram that Caleb's able to trick and sort of break its programming or whatever. And that's, there is no intelligence there. They are purely there to appear, do a menial task, and then disappear again. So I think it's the idea of, because it's not sentient, it wouldn't come under the remit of the Doctor going, hey,
I like Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Caleb. I think he's a flawed character that, I liken him to Dal from Prodigy. Is it Dal?
I think so, yeah.
Purple character, yeah.
Yeah.
I liken him to Dal, but I think in episode 2 he really shines in episode 2, and he's good. This is a good character that can only go from strength to strength. But we have to address.
Well, I need to talk about Caleb a little bit more. But
yes, no, please do. While I work up the courage.
I do just want to say with Caleb, I was worried in the first episode because a lot of it focuses on him, and he's a bit of a dickhead. But the show is aware that he's a dickhead, and it makes it very clear of going, he is a teenager.
And he has consequences as well.
Yeah, and that's it. And it's this sort of thing, when we compare it to sort of like a Mary Sue type character who's like, oh, look, they're really cool. They have all these abilities and stuff, and they never get called out, and they never make a mistake, and their call is always the right thing, like we have with Burnham and stuff, where it's like, oh my God, they got in trouble. Oh, but it turned out they were right all along, Whereas we actually have it where the first episode, all of the bad shit that happens in the first episode is because he's a brash idiot who only thinks about himself. And it's wonderful that he's kind of got this sort of, oh, he's a dickhead, but it's because he needs to develop. That's why he's at the academy. That is why they're all going through this. They are all characters that have a lot to learn and a lot to progress through, rather than, just starting how he means to finish. And I like that. And once I got that about him, I was just like, oh, cool. Like even in episode 2, I was just like, oh man, stop being a dickhead. But you're like, oh yeah, this is episode 2. When we get to season 2, you're going to be like, oh, okay, he's a lot more well-rounded and stuff like that.
But he's young, but he is also being pulled up on his shit, which is something that it makes it more grounded. The other thing I want to address is, yet again, for the second time, the first time being Section 31, there is a Charon or a Charon on screen.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm happy if they want to go. I mean, Section 31. I hated it because it's like, oh, you don't understand what you're doing, and it happens again in this. But I'm like, is it that they didn't destroy themselves? Is it that they're gonna change the law a little bit? And
I think they need to do. I think there is enough momentum to warrant even just the briefest of explanations, and I think Chris has actually said it there that they were a spacefaring civilization, so they could have been more off-world. But they need to explain it, because once, you can get away with it because it was a crap movie, but now they're putting it in this and they're becoming more relevant. It's like, how are they actually alive? How are they?
There's some bits though where I kind of think that they were just the makeup people might have been unsupervised, because there's some characters where their makeup is a lot like not as good as other people. Like there's loads of them where I forgot what the race is called, but where it's the green skinned race.
Orions.
I don't know if they're Orions. I don't know if they're meant to be Orions, but like where they've got normal lips. Like, and you're just like, why are your lips like pink, and then
Yeah, and they
all of
should
your
be
skin
green.
is like that? And yet you have other ones where it's like, oh yeah, it's because they have red lips, like they have bold red lips. But you have other ones where it's like, has that extra just like bitten his like sort of like lip gloss off, or like has he just licked his lipstick off? But like, and there's other little things where you kind of just go, and like we say with the Charon, isn't a character, it's just a random person in the background. And you kind of go, did the makeup team just go, oh yeah, make aliens look at Star Trek, put some stuff together, and they didn't think, oh yeah,
It's such a poignant character that has its own episode, and it's like not one person went, hey, people are gonna like react to it. Because I know SFA was made before Section 31 was released. That's fine. I'm not questioning that at all. But this is like, you could have random Tellarites or anything like that, or Romulans or Ferengi, because we do get a Ferengi in this. But this is like, hey, this is a civilization that we knew from an episode that the only two surviving were males and they hated each other. How have you now got another male in Section 31 and then a female in Starfleet Academy? Like, just an explanation. Like, I know it's 800 years into the future. That's fine. A lot happens in 800 years, but it's the tiny little things that all it needs is like one sentence or something on a screen in the background, or like a class about Xeno history or something like that to say, they were due to extinct, but they overcame and did this or did this, which leads me on to Laura Thok.
Yeah.
The cadet master, which is Gina Yashia, who is a famous British stand-up comedian who got the role as the Jemadar cadet master. I'm not warming to her at the moment. There is one scene that, honestly, and I will be honest with this, I have seen these episodes 3 times in the last 24 hours, right? There is one scene that just genuinely makes me laugh out loud out of both episodes. And it's the bit where she comes back to life and she's like, nothing like dying to get the old blood pumping. And she just twats the Klingon clean across the room. And then all you hear is a Klingon go, ow. And I just laugh so hard. But again, it's like, it's one of those bits of lore where it's like, okay, the Jemadar...
the oven on.
It's still at 2:20. But the Jemadar, the Jemadar, they are all male. They are clones. They do not have the ability to reproduce. Now, we do hear in the first episode that her father is a Jemadar male who was together.
I liked. That they had. I think it's episode 2. Is it? I don't know.
Episode 1.
Is it episode 1?
Yeah,
It's good. It's good that they say my father was a Jem'Hadar male, my mum was a Klingon, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. So somehow the Jem'Hadar are still going. They've been allowed to keep going, and they've been like bred to actually have, or cloned to actually have
there's
sex
medical,
organs now,
yeah,
you know.
there's medical things to allow. I mean, it could be
Yeah,
that
which suggests that
it could be cloning and then surrogates.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it means that there's been a discussion or something when Odo was in charge of the Dominion and whatnot, where they've gone like, "Hey, we can't just let this race die out because they're a sentient species. So what we need to do is we need to actually give them what do you call it? Self
Self-determination.
Give them self-determination and the ability to procreate and stuff, and that's happened sometime over the like 1,000 years and stuff, and you're like, cool, that is something that we can go, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the whole thing that they put on Twitter about like, oh yeah, there's always been female Jem'Hadar, and you're like, no, like,
I mean, that really rubbed people up the wrong way.
That really annoyed me. That really, because I was just like, don't say flippant stuff, because we are obsessed. We're obsessed with details.
I'm just reading what recommendation. Where were the Andorians or the Bolians or Benzonites?
Yeah.
No love for blue people. I agree. Not one Andorian,
I mean,
not
honestly,
one Bolian.
fuck blue people, but at the same time, hashtag fuck blue people.
They're called. Let them in. First interbred character that isn't half human. Well, yes, but
well, we get two of them, don't we?
Nala is part Lanthanite as well.
Yeah, and also we get bloody Nusbraka, who is half Tellarite, half Klingon.
He's a Klingonite.
Klingonite.
With knots and crosses on the side of his head, which is hilarious.
I will say though, I kind of hate that. Like, I have to say, like, the Jem'Hadar crossbreed, that makes sense, because if they just had a female Jem'Hadar, I would be really upset, because I'd be like, how the fuck has that happened? But the idea of going, oh, okay, yeah, cool. If they're a Klingon, that makes sense, and the respect that the Jem'Hadar have for the Klingons, as warrior races, I'm like, okay, I can see that happening.
But sorry.
The idea of like, I don't know, like, you could have him just as a Tellarite, because Tellarites are all bastards. Like, there's... no, they are though. Like, throughout all of Trek,
they're the Brummies of Star Trek. They're all bastards.
Think of the Tellarites throughout like Enterprise. There's not any Tellarite who's like actually kind or nice or anything.
I want to meet the Klingon. I want to meet the Klingon that saw a Tellarite across the bar and just went, hey. And then this is what happened. But the thing is, like, oh god, what was I going to say?
Just been a Tellarite and been a dickhead. Like they don't need to be like, oh, and he's half Klingon as well. It's
the perfection though of the Jem'Hadaran Klingon. Not even a German geneticist could come up with this. This is brilliant. Like, two warrior races merging together. Oh my god, could you imagine?
But that's it. But this is my issue though, because this is where I'm gonna, and it's weird because obviously speaking to a lot of people after watching the episodes, and a lot of people have been messaging me asking for my opinion and stuff and whatnot, and luckily everyone's on the same page pretty much. Like, everyone said, hey, I was really surprised, really enjoyed it. Like, that's what Sean said to me weeks ago, and I was just like, oh,
that's what Mike
Sean,
said to me as well.
Being all nice and lovely, and I'm just like going, I bet it's still awful. And then I was like, oh, fair cop. Yeah, Irish bastard.
But this is the thing. This is the thing, guys. Mike said the same thing to me. He was like, it's not that bad. And I went, you said this about Section 31, you fuck. I'm onto you. I'm watching you. So
Mike
then,
and his lies.
You made me drive down to London. But when I watched it, and I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. He was like, I told you. And I'm like, but you said this about Section 31, you tit.
Yeah, it's like, your opinion is already irrelevant.
You bathe in a sea of lies. But,
anyway, you should really watch his show. This is how we advertise.
I'm gonna send
I've already slagged off Trek 3665.
Well, let's go to Trek recommendations. That Jason, I'm telling you, he's so handsome. He's got guns of Navarone. I am so jealous. You bastard.
Clamber all over me.
Oh, I tell you, you can
Use me as a climbing frame.
You can recommend my dations any day. But the
but yeah, although I will say, like I was saying, with the Jem'Hadar character, I don't like them. They are my least favorite character.
Yeah.
And it's annoying because now that I've got on board with the concept of a thing and they've explained how she exists, I just didn't like it. Like, I'm sorry, the voice grated on me so much. They're just constantly loud. Like, their whole character is that they're loud, and it's really annoying. And it's like, and they get
It's a
in episode
Jem'Hadar
one, they
drill
get,
sergeant. That's all it is.
yeah, well, that's the thing. And you're just sitting there being like, oh, they just shout at people. Like, imagine if they just went, look, all Klingons are just really noisy and just shout at people. And you're like, no, there's nuance to it, the stuff. And I hope that we get to see a lot more of her later in the season and that she kind of develops better. But I just really didn't enjoy it because it's like, okay, spoilers for episode one, but we've already spoiled it. But it's the fact of like the first time we see her, all she does is just yell at Caleb, but like be really, really loud and obnoxious. And and you're kind of going, why doesn't he just walk away from her? Like, you would just be like, oh wow, okay, like she doesn't seem to command any authority. And then later on in the episode, when we're like, oh, cool, she's going to demonstrate how tough she is. And, oh, there's a crisis situation. She's going to actually go, whoa, I'm going to, like a falling ceiling's going to come down and she's going to lift it up and save people and stuff like that. No, literally, as soon as the crisis happens, she immediately gets KO'd. She immediately gets like severely injured by like falling masonry or something. And then the kids have to sort of dig her out and then take her to sick bay. And she's whining throughout the whole thing about how much in pain she is. And you're like going, that's not how a Klingon or a Jem'Hadar would act. Like, it's, and I don't like it. I kind of just go, I would have much preferred they have that plot, like the getting injured and needing to be healed, to be done by a different character. Maybe Jay Reno's character, like maybe sort of another character who's not meant to be this bastion of strength and stuff. Because in episode 2, they're just shouting at people again, and you sort of all like, and I don't know. I'm just sitting there being like, I don't know. It feels
it's
like
more
the wrong
War College.
personality. Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's more War College, less Starfleet Academy. And the thing is, I think the role of, I'm going to constantly butcher her name, Laura Thok, right? The role should have been more as a tactical trainer, as someone from the War College to train them about the essence of combat, hand-to-hand combat, battle in space and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like a military drill sergeant to break them, where she's just a cadet master. So it's like, how would you go to her before the dean, the chancellor, because she'll just slap you down, whereas it's like she's chalk and cheese compared to Captain Archie or Chancellor Archie.
Well, it's a trope that we see a lot, where it's basically the big bossy number one kind of thing. Like we see it a lot, and like Chris is saying in the chat, like that's what a military drill instructor is like. And maybe that's a personal preference of me being like, if I was in the military, I'd be like, lol, and then walk away. It's like the idea of, also I'd be like, how did I get here exactly?
You would just be sat there just going, honk.
I'd just be like, that's, oh, hope that works out for you, man.
Yes,
but
shout at me more, I'm getting harder.
Yeah, that's it. Treat me rougher.
I could do a push-up without hands at this point. But
but it's like, shout at me harder, magic mommy. But it's the
Gemma Daddy.
Yeah, Gemma Daddy, but it's but yeah, no, I don't know. It wound me up the wrong way. Like I would have loved her to be stronger when she was injured,
Yeah.
Like, but she kind of doesn't come across that way and stuff. And I'm just wanting more from her as a character. But that being said, I know I've criticized a lot in this review. That's the only real character criticism I have. I kind of love all of the other characters. Like it's
on that note, let's move to episode 2.
Oh, lovely.
Beta test. This is our favorite episode. I think we both agree. This is what Star Trek should be, and it goes into world building, it goes into lore, and it actually goes, hey, this is legitimately 800, 700 years after you've seen these people. Shit's changed, yo. Like, the Betazoids are super isolationist now, and it's actually a weakness of theirs. And stuff like this where it's like, yes, let's build the universe back up. Let's go out to these races and find out, why is Betazoid like this? What has happened to the Ferengi? What has happened to the... Just let us get out and we get this. And, it's such a lore dump.
And this is the thing. This is the important thing, because when Discovery jumped to the past, it felt it was because, like, oh God, it's too difficult trying to fit into existing lore. We just want to write a different show to what we're supposed to be writing. Like, that's what it felt like. And then they're going, oh, it's not working. We'll jump to the future. So where there's no one... Like, no one can say, oh, that's not possible, or that, that doesn't exist, or whatever. And it felt like they weren't jumping to the future because they wanted the plot to be set in the future. They were jumping to the future in order to not be constrained by existing lore, even though people are watching it being like, I wonder how this fits into the existing universe. So the wonderful thing about episode 2 is that they're going, hey, we've jumped ahead to the future, but here's what's happened. They're
not afraid to take a risk and explain it. And I think the writers of Discovery were so scared of their own tail, where it's like, well, we'll set it before the original series so we can have this. And then they deliberately backed themselves into a corner with prequelitis, as I like to call it. And then they were like, oh, we can't do this. We're so hampered by the fact that we're a prequel. Right, so we'll jump 1,000 years into the future. And then in 1,000 years into the future, they were still scared because people are going to go, well, what happened to this race? What happened to Earth?
Yeah.
What happened to Starfleet? And they're like,
we don't want to answer this.
We want new races. And it's like, yes, but... You have an entire universe of civilization and alien races and military organizations, blah, 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 and you are doing nothing with it. And it was not, you look at Strange New Worlds, who nailed it. You look at Star Trek Picard, who nailed it. It is the fact that the writers of Discovery season 3, but it was the fact that the writers of Discovery were just too afraid to make any sort of dent in that.
Well, they didn't want to write a Star Trek show. Plain and simple. They didn't. They wanted to write a different show, and then they went, "Hey, let's slap." And if that wasn't what they were going for, then they failed so dramatically.
But then you look at beta tests, and it's like, oh, I've just realised why it's called beta test. That's a good one. That's a good one. But it's, they're not afraid to get into that. They're not afraid to go, this alien race that you've known for the last 40 years from the next generation. Yeah, when shit happened, of course they turned into this because of, their own fears and their vulnerabilities and stuff.
And that's the good thing. Rather than kind of going, hey, we're going to jump to the future and we're going to tell the stories that we want to tell unrelated to anything else. Instead, what we're getting is we jump to the future, but now we're going to explain what happened to this. And the plot basically, so they could literally do an episode, each episode of the season of what happened with Ferengi, what happened with the Tellarites, what happened with Andorians and stuff. Where are all the blue people? Maybe a child screamed on a planet and all the blue people exploded. Who knows?
Oh, that's in the double wheel. We have to review that.
But it's the idea of
it's so millennial cringe.
There's so
he
much
screamed and killed billions. Oh no! Sorry. Anyway, right.
Well, that worried me in the first episode because they talk about the burn a lot, and I'm like, everyone's trying to forget that episode, and you kind of keep doing it, mentioning it. And I like that they're trying to save it a little bit by being like, oh yeah, cool, this happened, and showing the repercussions of the event rather than it just being a sort of plot contrivance.
Do you feel that Starfleet Academy is going to be exactly what we need, where we are going to learn with the students about the world of Star Trek in the 32nd century?
I hope so. I hope so, because that's what episode 2 is. It's very much kind of like, hey, we're getting the lay of the land with stuff like, oh yeah, people left the Federation. Like people literally went like, hey, this isn't working for me now. We're going to step away. And I like that. I like the fact that they're having to win people back because we don't know who else left. We don't know, because basically the Federation, after the burn, the Federation got very insular, where it went, hey, let's just protect ourselves. Let's not really sort of be helpful to other races and stuff.
Well, they couldn't travel.
Naturally, that's it. And then naturally other species and planets just went, well, we're just going to look after ourselves. And now that they've overcome it, they're having to reach out and kind of win people back and say, hey, we weren't there for you now. And that's basically what the episode is. It's an episode about diplomacy, about two races going, yeah, we can't give you everything that you want, but we can try, we can learn to compromise again, and we can like, because that's the whole thing. The whole and it's wonderfully told because it juxtaposes the two plot lines, like on each other, where it's got Caleb desperately trying to find out about his mother because his mother exists somewhere in the galaxy. He thinks, even though Nusbraka said, "Oh, she's dead. Don't bother looking for her." He's like, no, she exists somewhere, and he's searching for her, but he's trying to do it by just taking from everyone. He's trying to just go, hey, everyone needs to give me all their resources, and I need to do this thing, and it's the most important thing in the entire world. And then everyone around him is going, you're being a selfish teenager who can only think about his own needs. Whereas everyone around you, there's other things that you need to be doing and helping with and being involved in, such as like the negotiations and like helping this girl with her like struggles and whatnot. And that's what's cool about it, where it's the idea of compromise. It's the idea of going, hey, you give a little, you get a little, and we work together and we sort of learn to get along. And that's exactly what the peace negotiations and the I don't know what it's called, not peace negotiations, but the negotiations for Beta Z, re-entering the Federation. And it's the idea of the first bit, the Betazoid leader comes and he just goes, okay, I want this, and I want a helicopter, and I want like Blockbuster Video to come back, and I want like 1,000 tubes of Pringles, I want like a Series 5 of Enterprise. And they're just like, hey, we can't do these things, like, there we go. It's not enough for him, Goodwill. He needs more. He needs them in talcum powder flavor as well.
I don't. I mean, I can counter the offer with some lemon pledge.
With lemon pledge, you're really spoiling us.
No. But it's great though, because
he gets argued down. He comes in with his crazy demand, and then over the course of the episode, he kind of goes, the Federation's like, well, we can't give you that. There's no way that we can have what we want, which is you to rejoin the Federation, and give you these things that you want. And at the end of the episode, the Federation kind of goes, hey, how about if we do this, then it's not what we wanted to do, but we can satisfy his need. Because basically the plot is, he wants Beta Z to be protected. He wants Beta Z to be protected, so he goes, hey, you need to have a whole fleet of ships protecting our planet to make sure that we don't get attacked by the people who are actively trying to break through the shield that we put around our planet. And Federation's like, we can't spare that many ships. And at the end of the episode, they're like, but if we put the seat of our government on your planet, then we're going to have to heavily defend that. So we're going to need a fleet of ships protecting our seat of government. So we can kill two birds with one stone by just changing our expectations for what we wanted to fit what you want as well. And it's compromise.
The moral of the episode, and obviously it's mentioned, is the more things change, the more they stay the same. So at the beginning of the episode, they're trying to find a new location for the seat of government for the Federation. And they all just go, oh, well, it's always been in Paris. Let's just have it in Paris.
Yeah.
And what we see throughout the episode is Starfleet and the Federation going, in order for us to prosper in this new world, in order for us to work together and build a future together, we can't just stick to our old values, our old ideals, and things have to change. Earth shouldn't be the center of everything. If it's a federation of planets, why should it why can't we have it on Beta Z? And it's a good, but the problem, the one thing I really like, and this is like Oded Fair, why I like him as an admiral, they own up to their shit, where they're like, yeah, we failed you. When the burn happened, we failed you. After the burn, we failed you. You became isolationist. You put up this massive shield to protect your planet because Starfleet and the Federation was not there for you. And we recognize that, and we want to put it right. And all the way through the episode, we just see those negotiations, but it's always the Federation sticking to their old ideals, where like, we are the Federation. What we are offering is the best deal that you are going to get because we are the Federation. Where it's like,
we are sorry,
no,
please come back and it'll be like it was. And
but it's like
no.
you don't hold all the cards anymore. You are not a major player in the galaxy anymore, and you need to realize. And it's almost sheer fucking hubris. But it's that hubris that they have, and we see that slowly being taken away, and them slowly realizing, like things do need to be different, and we need to work for everyone in the Federation. And the C2 government, why can't it be on another planet? Why can't Starfleet be here and the Federation be here? And it's like, you are one of the oldest allies of the Federation. Like, why shouldn't it be there? And when you think about the history,
that's the most Star Trek thing about the episode.
But when you think about the history of Beta Z as well, this is the same planet that was invaded and occupied by the Jem'Hadar as well during the Dominion War. So this is a planet that has seen its fair share of horrors, occupation, invasion. So 800 years, and then no wonder there would be so isolationist, because he even says it, the governor even says it, like, are you going to protect us until the next burn and then leave us again? Like, he knows. And it sort of resonates with the world today, for a lesser extent anyway, but it's like, you say you're going to do this, you say you're going to offer this, but what happens when the next burn comes? What are you going to do? Are you going to retreat back again and pull away? Or
but this is the thing, though. It's the idea of, like, it's kind of like a relationship where people are just like, oh, I won't go into a relationship if every day isn't perfect. And it's like, well, those are silly expectations to have. It's the idea of, like, if they do what is good for you and your planet in the moment. And that's exactly what it should all be about. It shouldn't be like, sort of like, hey, if I just don't do anything and protect myself, it's like, it might be in 100 years' time the Federation messes up again and Beta Z needs to leave, but it'll be better in the meantime. Like, the Admiral has a very valid point where he just kind of goes, you've been hidden behind this psionic wall for like 100 years, and your technology is far worse than us. Like, we because you are not progressing as quickly as us, because we have all of these different things working together. It's almost like a certain country that we both live in is massively worse than it was before we left another coalition of countries where we were able to do stuff, where suddenly everything's gone shit and now it's like £5 for Lurpak.
There was a bit of me when you mentioned country, and I'm like, please don't say the A word. Please don't say the A word. But it's
arsehole.
Yeah, ow! I've just cut my finger. Ooh.
What did you cut your finger on? My words.
I don't know.
My scathing insult.
Apparently, I cut him on a pair of jeans. What the fuck?
Not even sharp, Goodwill.
Not even sharp jeans. They're just boot cut. What the hell?
Still sharp. Those are jeans, but
Death by Levi. But it's a really good episode because, like I said, is it just an A-B plot? I think it is an A-B plot because we've got Caleb and the ambassador's daughter, and then just the Betazoid Federation.
What we have is we have an A-B plot, but with a lot of little building around it. So we get stuff like little side plots with the Doctor, and we get little.
But it's a fleshed out episode. There's no like cuts or anything like that, and it's 61 minutes. So you sat there and you're like, wow, they are really taking their time with these episodes. And I'm going to say it, like, some of the shots are absolutely beautiful. And it proves that you don't need space pew-pew action all the time to have these fantastic...
There is no action in episode 2. And that's the best thing about it. There's no battles or experience. Does anyone even teleport in the second one? Like, it's just,
no, they take they take a shuttle down. I've got a gusher here, but go on.
Just go on, suck your finger.
First episode is going well.
But we've already injured Goodwill. You suck that finger. Ooh. Wow. Okay, for our audio listeners, you're not missing much.
We have audio listeners.
I got told the other day that people join in on my Twitch purely to go to sleep to my voice while I'm playing stuff, and I'm just
I've had that.
Okay, I don't know if that's a compliment.
People say to me, they're like, I watch you trucking so I can sleep. So I'm like, I'm that entertaining.
Like watching paint dry.
Thank you. I'm
Actually,
the number.
no, your stream is way too noisy. I couldn't fall asleep to yours because it's constant little music and stuff.
People sleep like a log. So they were either raised in the Vietnam War or their head is like the magic roundabout.
Yeah, mother birthed us while moving furniture.
Mother Hey, let me get this wardrobe. There we go.
Cool.
Right.
Oh, baby came out.
Just shove them into drawer, be fine. Why is everyone Yorkshire?
Cut the umbilical cord.
I'll cut it with my Stanley. But no, there is no action in this, but it that's what makes it such a strong episode. Yeah.
It's like Ad Aspera per Aspera from Strange New Worlds, where it's just the idea of going, oh, look, it's an episode where people are sitting around talking to each other, and it's wonderful for it. And yeah, so, and the plot of it, where it has the beta. I keep saying Bajorans, but it's because we get a reference to Bajor in the first episode. But the Betazoids in the second one. Now, the big criticism that people have of this is, why are they talking in sign language? Because obviously, was it recommendations? Yeah, recommendations in the chat. Basically, because one of the things I had was, why are they not seemingly very psychic? And also, like, why are they not black-eyed anymore? Like, why are there like eyes? And I was just a bit like, is there going to be a reason, or have they? Just
I'm hoping there's going to be a reason for the eyes. My thing for the sign language is inclusivity. Yeah. Because Starfleet, the one thing I've noticed about this series is it's very inclusive. There's a cadet in a wheelchair and stuff like that. That's absolutely fine. So I'm thinking what they've done is why they're not communicating psychically, that's why he's got the little thing there that reads the thoughts and translates it so he doesn't have to use his voice, because we know with Beta Zeds, they find it very primitive and they find it very gauche to use their voice. And we see with the ambassador, he prefers to use the translator, but then uses the sign language as well, so other people in the room can also understand what he is saying, which I think is really good. And it does address like a little plot hole. That's fine. The fact that his kids are sort of like, no, we can do all three. Like we're more adaptable because it's that age-old thing of like, he is super isolationist and traditionalist, and why should I communicate with these plebs in voice when I can just, do you know what I mean? And then the kids that are more eager to explore other cultures and eager to like branch out, they're like, no, we're gonna be telepathic, we're gonna do sign language, and we're also gonna speak to people because we want to see. I feel that.
I don't agree. Like I like the explanation that he's doing, that he's using sign language and using the device because he doesn't want to speak out loud. But I don't like it. It's inconsistent because we have it where the kids are using sign language to communicate between each other, even though they're meant to be telepathic.
Oh, and I'm like, that's a good point.
Why couldn't they just be having the whole thing where they dub the words over the top? Like, is that old hat, or like?
Or could it be that the kids were doing that because they didn't want the father reading the thoughts while they were behind him?
Maybe. Like I said, these are things that it could have addressed, because it did feel weird. And it's like, and I love the idea of inclusivity and it going,
Jason just said that. I think the sign language was just because he is deaf. In the end, he took it off and spoke with his own voice, and it sounded like a deaf person speaking.
Yeah.
But explain it.
But that's it. It's like going, that's what I thought. I thought, okay, he's deaf, and therefore, like, that's why he has the thing. And that made perfect sense. But then he's, and then obviously at the end, but then it's like the idea of going, they're using sign language while he's not even looking at them. And then also they're telepathic between them. Like the whole thing in Next Generation was the idea of like, even though Troy can't be telepathic to humans because she's only half, like all other Beta Zeds can just be telepathic and can just kind of put thoughts into people's heads and stuff like that. So the idea of they would be silent between them unless they wanted other people to hear. So the sign language doesn't quite make sense. Unless, and it's just odd. Like, and also the big question is, why are they using like American Sign Language when they're on Beta Z? Like, it would have been just as inclusive to make your own version of sign language, and that people who are deaf would be watching the show being like, oh, it's an alien version. It's like us with Klingon, where we're like, oh wow, there's a fancy language and it's got structure to it. How exciting. I think like deaf people, like people using sign language in the real world, would have watched it like with their made up one and gone like, oh cool, there are alien races in Star Trek that have their own version of sign
I
language.
would have
That's
liked
really
that.
exciting.
I would have
Yeah,
really
but
liked
instead
that.
it's like, why are they using American Sign Language? Like why not British, or like well, so I've forgotten the different types, because you've got American Sign Language and then you've got, oh, it's the one my mate knows, but it's a different one. It's not country specific, but yeah. But it's that idea of like going, yeah, it's a strange one, and it feels like I was saying, another one of these ones of going, nice idea, but not as well thought out as a lot of the other things in the episode.
The nod to the humpback whales, though. That was such a good scene. And like I said, this is where Starfleet Academy is at its best, when it's got minimalist scenes like this, where it's just Caleb and the ambassador's daughter, and they're underwater looking at the humpback whales and stuff. And it's a beautiful set. Like, I know it's an AR wall behind it, but it's still like it's absolutely stunning. And I'm trying to make the comparison because this just reminded me of Romeo and Juliet, like two star-crossed lovers.
Yeah, and also the fish tank, essentially.
And yeah, but it just. I really, really like this episode, and I like the fact that we start with the classrooms, and it's actually they're actually in class learning stuff, and he's got the mucus, and he's still got like the high school bully and that he's trying to fend off. But it's
I did kind of hate that in the first episode, where it resolves stuff way too easily. Like it's like the first episode felt like a
ASL,
pilot, like they were trying to sell
BSL,
it.
LS,
Yeah.
LIS, Italian. Most languages have their own, or like English multiple.
I think that's American Sign Language, British Sign Language, and Sign Language with a lisp. That's basically how that translates, I think. Go. Yeah, it is British Sign Language. I thought it was, but I was pretty sure that it was like a sort of just a European.
Can we go one episode without being cancelled? Can we just one?
No. Welcome to season 4.
Syndication.
Yeah, it is really good. Like a lot of the scenes, episode 2 really shines. But I
Massively
thought that the character who was, what's it, Raimi, like, and it's so odd that he's like a bully, but for no reason. And I know that's what the trope is. I know where you get all of the like, high school shows and stuff like that. There's always some kid who's like a bully for no particular reason, and he's just a dickhead. But you're just kind of going like, really? Are we getting to that trope so quickly? But it's the fact that in episode 1, he's a dickhead and he's bullying people, and they go the whole like, oh, leave him alone, dickhead, all of that nonsense. And then later in the episode, he's really nice to everyone and kind of like saves everyone's lives. And then episode 2, he goes back to being a dickhead again, and you're a bit like going, is there not any development there? Like he's just, and I don't know, like it kind of makes sense that in a crisis he is helpful. Like he is a
steps
dickhead,
up.
but he's actually, he can do his job, he can fulfill his role, kind of thing. But at the same time, it's a bit like, is this his whole thing? Like, is it,
But the strength of these first 2 episodes is the fact that it just seems like after 5 years of Disco, they have learned and they have got a proper ensemble. Because even like Tig Notaro's character, I'm forgetting what her character is now.
Reno, not Jay Reno.
Yeah, Jet Reno.
Reno. Yeah.
Jet Reno. where there's time to shine. Because the one thing I really didn't like, and I know Tig Notaro had scheduling issues with Disco and stuff like that, but when she was on Disco, she shined, and she was like the brightest light in any scene because she was funny, she was down to earth, but she just added that engineering type element to it with Trip, with Scotty, with LaForge and stuff like that.
With Pellier,
with
the same kind of vibe of Pellier of
where they're just grounded.
I could fix this, but I'm gonna be difficult.
Yeah, where they're just grounded, but like with Pellier and stuff like that, she can have a laugh, but she's a bit smart mouthed with it, but she does it for a reason. We see her like as a teacher in this, and she's on about Oscar Wilde and stuff like that. And it makes me sad because we're going to see more of Jet Reno than we are of Tilly in this, which is sad because Tilly is really, really good. She was a really, really good character. And it's so sad that she was just diminished. And I know that, I know there was pregnancy and everything like that. I have nothing against Mary Wiseman and stuff like that.
It didn't stop Nana Visitor in DS9,
no,
Like they worked her pregnancy into the show.
That's Rick Berman for you. Oh, you're pregnant. There's an extra. And then we...
Not union rates.
Put them in a catsuit. But we...
I'll just stop me baby out. Put it in a catsuit.
Jerry Ryan, put him in a catsuit. But we, I don't know, it doesn't even smoke. But, I want to see, I really, really want to see throughout Starfleet. One of my expectations is we the crew, the bridge crew of Disco, and we see them get fleshed out, even if it's just a little bit, just to have a little bit of like, finally, these people because they are all awesome. They are fantastic people. And one of my massive, huge criticisms of Discovery, A, the writing, B, you had a fantastic cast, which all seemed to get along with each other, which all seem to have naturally bonded off camera, that we see absolutely jack shit on camera. And it's like, it's such a wasted potential. And I know Strange New Worlds won it back, and I knew Picard Season 3 did it, and it looks like Starfleet Academy's doing it, and I'm all for it, but bring some of them in.
It feels really like the vibe from this. Like, I think the only thing that might disappoint me is if episode 3 comes out and it's really focused on Caleb again. That's going to worry me. Like... But if episode 3 comes out and it's like, hey, here's an episode about Sam, like the holographic, student.
I'm really interested in Sam.
Hey, here's an episode about Genesis. Or hey, I feel like we can take any of these characters, like sort of the Klingon Jaden, even the dickhead Raimi. You could go, hey, here's a plot around them. Like we got a Troy episode, like we got a Riker episode, and do that. If it is that every episode is going to be Caleb and it's all going to be about him and his like search for his mother and stuff like that, that's going to disappoint me a little bit, but I think it feels like they could happily just be like, hey, here's Laura, like here's Laura Thok, like here's Aki,
build the
that
universe.
Would really impress me.
If you are going to,
there's a curiosity about these characters now. If you got a bloody oven girl on the bloody bridge, you could be like, hey, let's
Lieutenant
give her an episode.
If you are going to build the world, as you have done with episode 2, build the characters as well along the way. Make us care about these characters. Did a little research. Anthony Natale is a deaf Canadian-American actor. That is brilliant. There you go.
Right,
But just explain it in the episode.
Yeah, I think it's that thing. It's like, because this is the thing, though. It was the fact of, what the hell is the character called? What was she called? She called Terima, the Betazoid girl.
Oh, the daughter.
The daughter really reminds me.
She's a regular now, apparently, as well.
Is she? Oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay, I thought she was just for that episode.
No, but, she's obviously, because at the end of episode 2, we find out she's gone to the War College instead of Starfleet Academy.
And her brother, who seems really annoying, I'm not really liking
her
him.
brother went from like a quiet dude to like bro in like the blink of an eye, and I'm like,
he's a bit cringe. I don't like it, but
I was a little bit.
But it's she really reminds me of Rogue from the first X-Men movie.
All
Like
right.
she's got that kind of awkward, that kind of awkward smile, beauty kind of thing going.
Is that
for her,
Rebecca
and I
Romaine?
really
Is that
liked
Rebecca
her.
Romaine?
No, she played Mystique.
Did she play? Oh, sorry. I'm
Oh
not
God,
an
who played?
X-man. I do
Yeah, I don't know. I've
apologize.
forgotten who played it, but she was very, very good. Who played
I
Rogue
know
in the X-Men
Wolverine.
movies. Yeah, huge jacked man.
I, I,
Well, you had to be for that role.
I have Marvel and I get PTSD. So
Ah, okay. But
Yeah.
no, but you know, I liked her, and you know, I really sort of got that. But it has the scene where she's going, "Oh yeah, I've got this thing on my neck, and it suppresses my psionic abilities because I get a bit too emotional. Like they can go a bit wild." Obviously, foreshadowing. But the idea that she has this dampener on her and stuff, but then it's like that's weird because we have and I was like, maybe that explains the sign language, like because the dad's got the thing on his neck, maybe that's a dampener because it's a hereditary thing where some members of their family, their powers are too strong and they have this dampener on, and therefore they have to use sign language because they can't actually talk to each other. All of this stuff that could have been done, and then yeah, so it is a bit more of a disappointment. Yeah, Anna Palanquin.
Anna Paquin. Anna Paquin from True Blood.
I said Palanquin, sorry, which is a type of
Pulaski
transport.
hybrid.
Yeah, Anna Pulaski hybrid. There we go. Yeah, no, it
Rogue.
reminded me of
Pulaski
that.
is Rogue. Sorry.
Yeah,
go on.
Suki from True Blood. I should have remembered that.
Suki.
Yeah, Suki. Wait till after the podcast. But it's the idea of like, it's,
My parents watch.
hey, hello, Mama Goodwill. I hope you've enjoyed all the swearing so far. And yeah, but yeah,
Have you found a job yet?
you found it. Get a haircut and a proper job.
That's what she said yesterday.
Is it?
She legitimately said, "You could do with a haircut," and I'm like, "It's winter, mother. Wolves
My
need a
maid
pelt.
mother.
Lone
yeah.
wolves need a pelt."
But it was but yeah, no, and there was loads of potential there with it. So obviously that's a plot point that's going to come. We're going to have one episode where she loses control of her powers or something like that.
Oh,
But then
definitely.
she does manage to, like, you know, read his mind or like check his emotions and stuff like earlier in the episode. So it's a bit hit and miss. But I did really like her though. I did really like her. I liked the developing relationship between her and Caleb and stuff. But I don't want Caleb to be the main character every
No.
episode.
It
I
needs to be
want
an
it to go,
ensemble.
yeah, here's an episode about Genesis. Here's an episode about like let's actually talk about Sam, like the holographic girl. Like
This is such an interesting character. That yeah, I mean, absolutely. Let's talk. This is such an interesting character because it's a 4-month-old hologram programmed to be a 17-year-old woman from a colony of photonics.
yeah.
It's such an interesting thing. And my question is, because we know the 29th century, the Doctor had the mobile emitter. So obviously technology is advanced and stuff like that. How is she able to travel and stuff like that? Is it purely because, is it like Red Dwarf where it's like a hard light or something like that
I
within her?
assume it will be. I assume
Yeah.
it will be that she has you know, a mobile emitter. Like she is the mobile emitter effectively.
It's just,
So-
I feel, because again, like stuff like this, they could have enticed people a little bit more if they just did a little bit more character bios leading up to the promotion.
Yeah.
Because she is a very interesting character, and I do want I would have an entire episode dedicated to her to find out.
And you could have totally done it. You could have literally had it where Captain Ake was basically just reading out like, hey, here's some of the students we have kind of thing. And she's just talking about sort of like, oh, Sam, she's our first photonic kind of thing. That's really interesting. Like, you know, like, and just talking about all of these things, or talking about, oh, my first officer is going to be such and such. And she's like, you know, she's a Klingon, like, you know, Klingon on her mother's side and whatnot. Like, all of this could have been done as damage control if they had more clue about how to market this, I think. But Goodwill and
Yes,
Synoiz.
they're not in the chat, but they are watching intently, and I'm probably going to get judged immensely, so I'm just waiting for the message to come through. But yeah, like,
if Anna Paquin's in the chat. Hey, I loved you in the X-Men movies.
it's okay. Sam, I am really interested in. I am also really interested in Jada Cragg. Hang on, Jaden Cragg. I'm really, really interested to learn the backstory of him as well.
I had a disagreement with a friend because a friend, like, the friend had very differing opinions to me, but obviously we still enjoyed it. Like they loved Lurathok and found them really hilarious, and obviously I didn't. They didn't like the messiness of Captain Ake, whereas I learned to go, oh, this kind of works for her character. But they really didn't like Jaden. They hated the voice.
Yeah.
And the thing I loved about Jaden was the voice. I was just like, oh, they're doing a Klingon voice. They sound like a Klingon. And rather than just like, because that was the worry. The worry in the run-up from the trailers and stuff was, oh, they've just got someone, said he's a Klingon, and then he's not going to act like a Klingon at all. And yet he is. The actor has done their research, they're doing the voice and stuff. They're coming across really well as this is how he would be, but my mate didn't like it because he said he knows that actor from other stuff, and that actor has a very soft, feminine voice. Because I think the actor's like gay.
It's done in post. I know it's ADR.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
it's the fact of going like, yeah, but like that could be a plot point. It could be a plot point later where actually, he is a very feminine sort of Klingon or something like that. He's very soft spoken. He's a pacifist.
But the
it
thing
could be that
is,
from his society, he has to put on this voice. He's been told that he needs to sound like this, and then maybe over time, in private or whatever, he has a real voice or something that comes out. There's all of these different things that could be interesting plot points.
but the thing is, why not? Because what we learned from Star Trek Enterprise is that the warrior clan became the dominant cultural figurehead in the Klingon Empire, where actually there were scholars, academics, healers, philosophers. They were in diminishing numbers as the rise of the warrior clan popularity came in, but there were other types of Klingons. And one of the saddest things, again, one of the saddest things that we didn't get from Enterprise is more exploration of that, encountering Klingon philosophers. And so, because the next time we encounter Klingons in the timeline, it's the Battle of the Binary Stars and they're all at war. But it's like, yeah, but
in like DS9 we do get like sort of like, well, in TNG as well, where we get like the actual Klingon scientists and mechanics and stuff, and they're hated. They're literally looked down upon by the warriors, where they're like, the people who make this ship, they're less than me. They're sort of like, like rather than being like, wow, these clever people who allowed you to actually get into space. And they're not respected at all. They're classed as like secondary citizens, these people who aren't warriors. And that's an interesting part of like Klingon culture to explore, like the idea of going, but we've already kind of done it. We've already kind of visited the whole like, hey, where are the Klingon scientists or like philosophers? And it's like, they are there. They're just treated like secondary citizens. And now we've got someone, but they're still warlike in their own way. They're doing their own bit towards
but is the culture evolving? Is the culture evolving over the 800 years?
Exactly, and hopefully we'll tackle that later in the series. And the idea of one being a pacifist, being like, hey, we shouldn't be fighting at all, that is a totally new concept that we haven't visited yet in Star Trek, of going a Klingon going, yeah, who cares about honor? And it's like, fuck, even the guy cleaning the toilets probably cares about honor. He still probably wants to. The reason he's cleaning toilets on a ship is because he wants to die in battle. It's like, so it's an interesting thing. But Trek Recommendations is saying the voice change was a last minute change.
Oh, so it was actual ADR.
That will disappoint me if that's true, because obviously I really liked the voice. I liked the voice in the few scenes he had because it sounded right for a Klingon.
I have two more questions for you because I know we are running out of time. So two more questions. First of all, obviously, do you have any notes? And the second question is, what are your expectations for this season of Starfleet Academy? I'll tell you mine, and then we can dive into yours. So my expectations is further exploration of the Alpha and Beta Quadrant, and even the Delta and the galaxy after the burn. And my genuine hope is, We don't get new aliens. We go back to all the alien races that we have, that there is an endless supply of, and we just see how these races have coped. We know what happened to the Vulcans and the Romulans, what happened to the Cardassians, what happened to the Bajorans, what happened to the Bolians, the Tellarites, the Remans, and stuff like what happened to all of these alien races. Why, what happened to the Ferengi Alliance? Why they, are they as capitalist as they are now? Are they ultra capitalist because of the burn and stuff like that? What I would love, though,
how would Rom's empire have had to deal with the burn?
Yeah. But what I would love is, obviously, it's the 32nd century. It's a galaxy now. It's not just the Alpha and Beta Quadrant. Delta Quadrant races from Prodigy, races from the Gamma Quadrant and stuff like that. What happened to are the founders still there? Like, what are the Vorta still there? Is the Dominion Empire an actual thing? Like, how far did the burn extend within the galaxy? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? I think there's a lot of things, but I think we will learn about this era of Star Trek together, and we will learn about our new characters and our new protagonists. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. The one final thing I will say is, everyone has said to me who has got the screeners, episode 5. They said that is the episode to watch in Starfleet Academy. So 2 weeks' time, we'll find out what they're going on. But off you go.
What were the questions again? So I got distracted looking at icons on my desktop. Sorry.
Fuck, I've actually forgot. What are your expectations for this season?
You said 2 questions. That's one question.
Yeah, and do you have any other notes?
Oh yeah, okay. With the notes, I have tons of notes if I'm perfectly honest. But
so do I.
I like the Doctor. I like the Doctor.
I'm glad he's back.
It's good that the writers know what the Doctor is. They know how the Doctor should be, and really, really happy with him. It's great to have him back. I was so worried that they were going to ruin this character. I was so worried that
he's got the same bedside manner.
Yeah, like it's what else we got? Blah, blah, blah. There's loads of stuff. I've got loads of notes, but we're not gonna really do that. My expectations of the rest of the series is that we're going to have episode like TNG, like DS9, like Voyager, like all of the Golden Age stuff. We're gonna have episodes focused on different characters. That's what I'm really hoping for. Like we go, hey, here's an episode surrounding Genesis, and it's going through her. Like we wanted with Discovery, where we're like, oh, it's going to be a Tilly episode. No, it's not. No, Tilly's got a minor B plot in this one, but it's all about Burnham again. Like that's what I want. And you know what? I don't want to see Nusbracker that much. I want
Nusbracker. I agree.
I want Nusbracker because the first episode sets it up as he's going to appearing all the time. I'm just like, he needs to appear in the final episode. He needs to be a kind of, hey, I'm here in the universe, but I'm not fucking every week kind of thing. I'm not like constantly lurking over the shoulder. Like, yeah, he needs to be a sort of, like is it Doctor Who where it has the Daleks, where it's not every episode, but they appear like twice in every run kind of thing.
Yeah.
But those are the 2 main things, and I want redemption in my eyes for the Jem'Hadar character. I want to like them, and I want there to be stuff that makes me go, oh, she's not just like, because she feels like an unfunny comedy character. Like, I'm just like going, oh, the funny thing is that you're yelling at everyone, and that's you're yelling at everyone, and you're unnaturally strong, and I'm just like,
but is there a redemption?
What are your needs? What do you like,
is it a redemption arc? Is it that she has to put on this facade to act tough because of her upbringing?
Exactly. We need an episode where it focuses on her to go kind of like going, what the hell has it been like living? Like, how long did your dad live? Like, Jem'Hadar have lifespans of 5 years. Did you even know your dad? Like, all of the fascinating stuff. And if the whole series just kind of goes like, well, Caleb's still looking for his mum, you'd be like, squandered potential, you know.
It's a
But yeah,
70s,
that's-
80s trope where it's just like every season it's still the same thing, and it's like, oh yeah, you can't
Well, that's
do
it.
that.
It's the idea of everyone can have their own plot. Every character can have their own golden goose that they're looking for. For
Oh,
Caleb, it's finding his mum. For Holly, it's well, for Holly, sorry. For Ake, it's basically like her getting forgiving herself for the terrible decision she made, like where she, ruined Caleb's life effectively with a
yeah.
bad call that she didn't fight against when she could have done, you know.
Yeah. No, I
it's-
absolutely agree. I think that is probably a good place to wrap up our first episode back. We are under 2 hours, so I consider this a win. Because we have had to do 2 episodes back
Yeah.
to back, and they were admittedly 71 minutes and 61 minutes. They were meaty old episodes. They were chunky, and we haven't gone into all the references within those episodes as well because we just don't have the time. We
Well,
don't
the
have
thing
the
is,
time.
there are so many other shows and other podcasts that are going to be going into these details.
Yes.
They're going to. This is the joy of the patchwork quilt we have of the Trek community.
The
is the idea of
weave
yeah,
that
like,
we have
I
interwoven.
haven't even talked about any of the ships or anything like that because I frankly don't care. But
There are
the
ships.
fact is, Mike is definitely going to be talking about all of that. Like it's the idea of like, yeah, and yourself in the dry docks. It's the idea of all of that is going to be discussed, and
That
by
is
different
why.
forms.
That is why, Treks and Trekkers, if you look down in the description below, all of our
it's still there.
friends' podcasts are there. So we've got the Transporter Room, Captain's Quadrant, we've got Trek Culture, we have got Clone Star, and loads of others, as well as friends of the show, JL Soryu, James Moorhead, Adam, who does the fantastic Voyager theme for us, as well as someone called Velvet Snatcher.
No idea.
We've got, but guys, that has been our review of episode 1 and 2 of Starfleet Academy and our first episode back in 2026 and season 4. I would like to thank my delectable Geesian for the planet Hulk. I'm just going to call him Science Officer Synoiz because it's just canon now. Science Officer Synoiz, the delectable
Hello.
Geesian.
I've been promoted, but for how long?
We will be back next week. It won't be live because we have got some things planning next week because we've got a charity quiz, which I will be promoting on Twitch and obviously on next week's episode. So we'll be getting ready for that. Are you streaming tonight, Science Officer
I will
Synoiz?
be. If you are in the chat, join me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Synoiz, Synoiz. I will be playing more Final Fantasy VII, which I'm addicted to. We've finally got a gold chocobo, so we're going to get Knights of the Round, and then we're going to be, continuing the plot. I think we've got to go to space, actually. I'm going to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism.
Space!
That is
Oh.
basically what we're going to be playing.
Can you tell we're trauma bonded by 90s video? But if you look down, please click that like button. If you haven't subscribed to Trekkin Up North, please subscribe. It will help. At time of going live, we had 137 videos with 137 subscribers, so we're 1 for 1 at the moment. So we need to get that up. I will be on Twitch next week. I need to adjust the schedule because I put out the schedule and then someone was like, "Oh, hey, Matt."
Schedule?
I
What's
did.
one of those?
I did, and now I have to change it. But I will be on Twitch next week. Please share this channel far and wide if you are a Trekkie. Give us a shout out, please. We want to grow. This is a big year, not only for Star Trek, but for Trekking Up North. So it's a very big year for us. We are at Destination Trekking that there, Blackpool.
Oh yeah.
And then before that, we're off to Las Vegas, if we're allowed in.
If we have to, I don't think we're going to be allowed in.
If we're
I've got to
allowed
be
in, I am training myself for the cavity search. I really am.
I'm going to say you're going to have to use both hands, mate.
Oh, stick a
been
head
to
in there.
Berlin.
Put a flashlight on. It's fine. Bring a
There's actually
canary.
a pull light. It's like an attic. There's a little corner and a bulb comes on. It's like, oh, it's very spacious in here.
Oh, you've put
chaise long in here.
You've put flooring down. That's very
Oh,
nice.
that's lovely. Oh,
Oh.
very nice.
Right. Without further
I will
ado.
say, however, everyone, there is so much more to discuss about these first two episodes, and obviously in the chat there's been a lot of differing opinions, a lot of like sort of hey, disagree, agree kind of thing. I think, you know, if you have opinions about these episodes, please comment below, and then we can have a discussion in the comments about them all, because it all helps the algorithm. The more comments,
Yes.
the more YouTube goes, oh, people are actually paying
If you were in the chat right now, please just put a comment down below, because
Tell
you
us
have
who your
no
favorite character
idea.
was. Tell us a criticism. Tell us the thing that actually annoyed you about it. Like for me, it was the pointless CG and the robots and stuff. That's my big criticism of the show so far. But what was it for you? Was it the sign language? Was it the Betazoids not having black eyes? You know, tell us what it is. It helps the algorithm, and it means that we can keep the conversation going after we've drawn a line on this episode. Meow.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Treks and Trekkers, I have been Captain Goodwill. He has been Science Officer Synoiz. This has been Trekking Up North. Take care of yourself. We will see you next week for our episode 3 review. Live long and prosper. And as ever, on Trekking Up North.
Holy person.
Miles?
Oh yeah, Miles.
Miles?
Miles.
Miles?
Yeah, your sorbet sucks. Now get out.